Life certainly did not play out as planned. Now I'm holed up in this hell for 10 years. No sunlight, no love. At least, let me get you some water. That's not possible. There's hope. My love.
Buddymeister, you are supposed to clean this mess here.
My twig.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister. And today we're going to talk about a movie that I had bookmarked some time ago, ready to be picked out for a review if needed. And that's Adoor Gopalakrishnan's Mathilukal from 1990, starring Mammootty.
It was great to have finally seen a classic movie starring Mammootty. So far we have only seen 3 of his more recent releases. Unda, which was quite good, Abrahaminte Santatikal, which was quite bad, and Pedambu, which was fantastic.
Yes, and I haven't seen that one.
That figures.
Anyway, it's also nice to have seen the classic Mammootty because as of now, when it comes to the Malayalam classics, we're only familiar with Mohanlal and Srinivasan.
Mathilukal, which means the wall or walls, was shown at the Venice Film Festival in 1990, where it won the Fibresci Prize as well as the UNICEF Award. It also won Best Malayalam Film and Best Actor at the National Film Awards in India.
And well deserved. Mathilukal is based on the autobiographical novel of the same name by Vaikom Muhammad Bashir that focuses on the prison life of Bashir. And because of its autobiographical nature, its story is embedded in the history of the time, which is the 1940s.
We are right in the middle of India's independence movement, right in the middle of Mahatma Gandhi's first fast.
At first, we actually don't know when the story takes place. All we know is that Bashir is a writer who was sent to prison for treason. But then we get this more general talk about Gandhiji, and after that the final hint that Gandhi broke his fast by drinking orange juice, which tells us that it's the year 1943.
Mathilukal is quite frankly a beautiful movie, and who would have guessed it at first? Its entire story only takes place in the small confinements of a prison. But this isn't really about the horrors of prison life. Some of it is for sure, like when people get noticed that prisoners are going to be hanged or put in chains. But overall, it's a very peaceful and quiet, contemplative movie, and Mammootty has such an aura.
He is fantastic. He was 38 years old at the time, full of sap, and not that I ever questioned it, but now I finally know why people love him so much. He really is Bashir.
Everybody in the prison, be it the guards, wardens or the other inmates, are charmed by Bashir. And it's easy to see why. He's a popular writer, people are looking up to him, and Mammootty's charisma is off the charts. His warm smile, tender voice, big stature and his completely friendly behavior.
Yeah, but we have to remember that we are in the midst of India's fight for freedom, so I might be wrong, but I assume that the wardens are treating him and the other political prisoners rather nicely because they are Indians as well and secretly siding with their fight for independence.
I thought the same thing, and maybe it was because we just watched Gandhi a few weeks ago, but to me it felt as if Gandhi's grace, his inspiring nature, his non-violent resistance were soothingly hanging over the film and its characters.
The movie radiates an extraordinary atmosphere, you said it. It's soothing, calm, thoughtful, and it pulls you in. And the kicker is, there's really not that much happening. It's Bashir's prison life.
A lot of the movie just consists of these calm, static shots that very often just focus on Bashir himself and how he is arranging his everyday life. His interactions with other inmates, conversations with wardens, and of course his activities in the small rose garden that he finds a lot of pleasure in.
You can see that Bashir is a writer because he observes a lot. There is this wonderful scene where he walks up and down the cells and imitates different kinds of snoring of the other inmates. Of course, this scene gets reversed later when everybody gets released but him and he walks along the empty cells. But as I said, Bashir is an observer. He takes his time.
All movements seem to be very conscious. It's a very carefully staged movie. There's no hectic in this film. In an early scene, Bashir asks the jail warden, played by Tilakan, why such a hurry? They are imprisoning him for more than 2 years, so he's in no rush.
Exactly. Adoor Gopalakrishnan, who wrote and directed the movie, gave the story all the time that it needed, and he succeeds in keeping the viewer's interest. I mean, we already said it, the story isn't special or full of twists and turns or whatever. We're just following this man's life in prison. But with that, we also become a part of his psyche, his mind, and that's what makes it gripping. We can see how Bashir runs through different behavioral stages.
Which is another testament to Mammootty's great acting. After Bashir is the only political prisoner that's not released, he slowly changes. There's an emptiness evolving inside him. He even thinks about escaping prison. The nice and warm Bashir of the first half makes way for a desperate, even a bit cunning Bashir in the second half.
And Mammootty expresses that perfectly.
Absolutely. Of course, Bashir becomes happy again.
This love story, which is always mentioned as the synopsis, actually only makes up 1/4 of the movie.
It's only the last 30 minutes where Bashir is at his lowest point and where he has lost his spirit after everybody else has left him and he's on his own. It's then that he meets another woman, Narani, who's an inmate in the women's prison that's adjacent to his prison. But it's only her voice that he hears over the towering prison wall, and he and also we never see her face.
They establish a wonderful and special connection. It's really heartfelt and lovely.
I honestly wished it would have been a bit longer. The first 90 minutes were wonderful as well, and they set the stage for this love story, but the balance is a bit off, to be honest.
It ends rather quickly, yes, but I think to a degree this puts you in Bashir's shoes, who must have felt exactly that.
I guess you can see it that way, but I was almost sad when Mathilukal ended, because it is such a remarkable journey filled with the beauty of nature, good conversations, wisdom, confidence, optimism, and very little conflict.
It's just very well made. Gopalakrishnan, who by the way only made 12 feature films to date, he did a lot of documentaries, is in full control of this story. It looks fantastic thanks to the cinematography by Mankadi Ravi Varma, and the music by Vijaya Raman adds another layer to this wonderful amalgamation.
The music is another aspect where Mathilukal keeps its calm. It is used very sparsely, but therefore all the more poignant. If I'm not mistaken, I think the first time we hear music, except for the opening credits, is almost 30 minutes into the movie, when Bashir discovers a small butterfly in his prison cell, and then the next time when the first roses are blossoming in the little garden.
We get a distinct look at nature, also at time and thought, but it can all just end like that. One tiny thing that I ask myself during and after the movie is how the book by the author Vaiko Muhammad Bashir describes the prison life. I read a review where somebody wrote that it's shown way too soft in the movie and it's kind of clouds the original intentions of Bashir. And from time to time I was thinking that myself without knowing the book. But then again, the movie maybe wants to say something else. I don't know.
Well, it certainly would be interesting to know what Bashir wrote in his book. Maybe our viewers can help us with that. But for now, what would we say in German about Mathilukal?
Mathilukal ist fantastisch. Mammootty ist schlicht und ergreifend großartig. Es ist einfach schön, wenn sich ein Film genügend Zeit für seine Geschichte und Charaktere lässt, eine ganz eigene Atmosphäre ausstrahlt und dabei noch zum Nachdenken anregt.
I give Mathilukal 8 out of 10. It's more like 8.1, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 9 out of 10. It's more like 8.5, but I don't do that either. Did you know that director Adoor Gopalakrishnan normally does not encourage his crew to read the script or even the stories? The actors are told at the time of shooting about the role and the scenes before conducting several rehearsals.
Well, interesting. I guess that can go either way. So, what are your thoughts about Mathilukal? Leave a comment and hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd, and now also on Patreon, simply at TheJimmyCage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at the Buddymeister.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.
My twig!